Welcome back to the DNX show, and today we're going to be talking all about MXGP of Flanders, aka Lommel. All right, so it's just me today, so bear with me, but we got a lot to talk about at this race. Doc is away on a trip right now, but he'll be back for this week for our predictions and our pod on Friday, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. But let's talk about MXGP of Lommel, all right, because there's some major takeaways, I think, for each class. Let's start in, say, the MXGP class, all right? That was an amazing battle between Febvre, between Lucas. I mean, Lucas honestly didn't have the greatest starts all weekend. Go back to the qualifying race, he didn't have a great start. MX or Moto 1, he didn't have a great start. Moto 2, I feel like both motos, he was like 5 or 6 off the start, maybe even more. And then he made some quick passes to get into like 3-4. And then he went after Febvre in Moto 1, which was an amazing race. It was an awesome battle between them. He actually made the pass on like the wall jump. That was so epic. And then Febvre got him back after the finish line over that like triple line. That was the best battle in a while, because if you go back to the last few rounds, it's just been one of the guys taking a whole shot and checking out. I mean, there really hasn't been like a decisive battle, and we finally got one. All right. And I'm so excited for the rest of this year because there's 5 rounds left. It's a 9-point championship, and it's literally anybody's ball game, bro. Like, Lucas has kind of the upper hand right now because he has the momentum of winning the GPs, because he won Lockett, he won here. But Febvre's also won motos, right? Like, he won at Lockett, he won Moto 2. He won Moto 1 here at Lommel. So, like, I feel like Febvre's momentum is not completely gone. And they're both, I would say, by far the best 2 guys right now. So if one of them gets a bad start, you know they're going to get into second at most, right? It would take, I wouldn't say necessarily a drastic crash or something like that. But if they're like 10th, maybe 11th off the start, like, let's be honest with everybody, like, they're making it to second. You know what I'm saying? So honestly, the battle between those 2 was just awesome to watch. We kind of got it in Moto 2. Not really. Lucas went through the pack after that bad start, got right behind Febvre with, like, I would say, I think it was like 17 minutes, 16 minutes left. And no, it was about 15, 16 minutes left. He made the pass with 12 minutes left, which was amazing pass, by the way. That shit was fire. And then he just solidified it. He put down some burners lap, and I think he got it up to like 11, 12 seconds at the very end. They both were kind of just like coasting at the very end. They were already up 40 seconds on third, bro. Like, and maybe that's just Lommel. Maybe next week we'll see a Vlonderen get in the mix, a Koldenhoff get in the mix, you know, and maybe they, like Febvre and Lucas, just were a top tier going into Lommel. You know what I'm saying? So, but regardless, it was an amazing battle to watch. And I think this championship, it's really going to go down to who can make the least amount of mistakes. Like, if Febvre can go out there and go 2-1 every single weekend, he's going to win this championship. Like, he needs to obviously win some qualifying races, and he can't lose too many points in the qualifying races. But if he can have some wash weekends with Lucas, bro, I mean, it's going to be his, right? There's only 5 races left. They wash on points. There's only, if he gets second in every qualifying race, he only loses 5 points, and like, he wins by 4, right? But as we've seen in the past, Febvre does make mistakes. Go back to Lockett. He should have went 2-1 on that and should have won that GP, but he got 5th in Moto 1 after crashing on the last lap. We've seen it. I don't quote me. I think it was at Latvia. Like, he also went down in that race. So, I mean, he does make mistakes. I personally haven't seen Lucas make too many mistakes as of late. And honestly, I'm trying to think of the last mistake that he's actually had, because I feel personally he's been first or second the last 6 or 7 rounds. I got to pull up these freaking results because, truthfully, I really do believe that he's been like, I'm going back, his last outside of first or second overall was in Spain. He went 18-25. I guess he got 3rd at Great Britain. He went 22-20, which wasn't his track, but he still got on the podium. So, like, he hasn't been off the box in so long. I couldn't even tell you. Maybe Trentino was the last time he was off the box, right? Like, yeah, I don't... he's been having an amazing season for a rookie, and it's going to go down to the wire. I'm saying it's going to go down to the wire. I'm very excited that I've started watching this because it's been great. All right. I just got to be honest. It's been one of the best seasons I've watched to date, whether it's Moto, like Pro Moto or MXGP. I didn't get to watch like the hurling battles or the geyser battles or the Prado championship. So like for me, it's been a really good championship battle. And I'm excited for the next five races and see what Lucas can do at Motocross of Nations versus everybody too. That's going to be super exciting. But yeah, I think just right now, whoever makes the least amount of mistakes is going to probably win this championship. So a great ride by both of them though. Honestly, great ride by Febvre as well as Lucas. Amazing. But now let's hop over to the 250s. And my takeaway originally was Langenfelder did exactly what he needed to do. He needed to get into that 4, 5, 6 range. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe he got like 6 overall. I'm pulling up the championship points right here. He got 5th overall. So honestly, not that bad. I mean, it looked worse on paper because he had that crash in Moto 1 where he got hooked and then he did like a full 360. But looking at like the actual results, a 5th ain't bad, you know? He did exactly what he needed to do. He's not good in the sand. Everybody knows that. I know that he's been practicing, and I've been talking about that he's been practicing in the sand, but like he's not good in the sand. Like that, this is a point. Go back to Finland, he didn't do great. Go back to Latvia, he didn't do great. You know, so like I mean, at Latvia he went down on the final lap, and Kai got the win. You know, so I think personally, if Langenfelder can minimize these mistakes, is a 30.8 lead. I think it was a 38-point lead on Kai right now. If he can minimize these mistakes, he's going to win this championship. However, with 5 races to go, I think Kai stole back the momentum. He did it at Finland. He got a perfect weekend. He got all the momentum. Then he went to Lock and kind of struggled, right? He did it once again. He had a perfect weekend at Lama, which is, I think everybody kind of expected that. What is he going to do next in 2 weeks in Sweden, right? Like, can he have another perfect weekend and Langenfelder struggles? Like, if Kai goes out and goes, say he goes 2-2-1, or he goes perfect, or he gets first place, but it's like a 3-1 or something like that, right? And Langenfelder goes 3-4. I mean, chipping away. And then they go to the Netherlands with Kai. That's his hometown track. It's a sand track. Kai has a perfect weekend. Langenfelder struggles again. I mean, it's going to be like a 15-point gap with 3 races to go. And maybe that pressure of the championship is going to be too heavy for Langenfelder. Now, I don't want that. I want a great battle towards the end. Like, could you imagine both championships goes down to the last moto? I'm being honest. Like a 3-point gap between Lucas and Febvre, right, in Moto 2. A 3-point gap between Kai and Langenfelder. Maybe even a Damo. Throw a Damo in there, and it's a winner-take-all for both of them. Like, that would be incredible. And truthfully, I mean, at the start of this weekend, it was 58 points for Kai. Now it's 38. He got 20. He gets another 20 next round. I mean, now it's only 18. And then he goes to freaking Netherlands and he gets a perfect. And then the championship is in reach, like 6 to 8 points with 3 rounds go. I mean, honestly, anything can happen in this MX2. And if you guys been watching this entire year, you know it's inconsistent. We've talked about that. It's been inconsistent. And I think that's what kind of makes it exciting because we don't know what's going to happen. Like for sand tracks, yes, we know Kai is great. After watching, honestly, Adamo was great in Moto 1. McClellan is also a really good sand rider. So we know what riders have great like tendency in which tracks, right? But that doesn't really matter because inconsistency is all throughout this MX2 class. Look at Sasha. Great starter, crashes all the time. Langenfelder, he's a great rider. He has the points lead. He still goes down. I mean, look at Adamo. He's a great starter. He goes down. He makes mistakes. Kai does the same thing. So honestly, it's literally anybody's ball game with 5 races to go and only a 38-point gap. I think Adamo is literally only like 40 points. Let me double check here. Yeah, it's 48 points for Adamo because he had a bad race in Moto 2. But honestly, it's literally anybody's race. I'm so excited to watch the rest of this. Like, dude, if Langenfelder can be consistent, I think he's going to win. If he can't be consistent, and maybe go back to my takeaway for the MXGP class, the 450 class, like if Langenfelder can minimize those mistakes, he's going to win the chip. So it all comes down to mistakes. Like if Kai can minimize it, go perfect for 3 out of the 5 rounds, he might be right there. But if Lingenfelder can just go 2-3 every round, I think he wins a chip. So, yeah. Also, side note, Kai's amazing in the sand, bro. That was an awesome performance. Also, got my bold prediction, 25 plus in Moto 1. Came down to the last 2 laps. I'll take it, though. All right, we're going to talk about our predictions here in a second. But, yeah, just amazing sand rider. I think he can rival Hurlings in a while, in like a couple years. When he gets on that 450, I want to see a couple years on that sand, like in a 450. How is he going to play? Like, is he just going to dominate like he does in MX2, which I kind of expect? But, yeah, I'm very, very excited. And I might be going to Lamo next year after watching it this weekend because that shit was awesome. Great battles throughout the entire race. I even mentioned that, like, in the 450, or was it the 250 class or the 450 class? It was the 450 class. Like, first and second, 1 second. 3, 4, 1 second. 5, 6, 7, like all within 1 second. There's like 3 battles going on within the first, like, top 7, and it was amazing. They're all spaced out, but it made for some awesome watching because there's so many things happening at one moment, right? So, yeah, overall, Lamo's great. So many people showed up. Everybody was saying on the broadcast, too, that it's like the best race to go to. A lot of people didn't tell me that's the best race to go to. So, yeah, we might be going next year. I'm just going to be honest. It's going to be great. All right, going into the surprises, though, let's stay in the MX2. And my surprise was McLellan. Now, I did predict him to get on the box. So is it really a surprise? I don't know. However, I'm going to say a surprise because I also want to put some other guys in best rides because I don't feel like I could put DeWolf in best ride. Like, we all know he's the best rider in the sand. So, like, I can't do that, right? But for surprise for McLellan, the one thing that really surprised me was he had horrible starts and he pushed through the pack. That Moto 2, when he was like 13th on lap 1 and then got into 3rd, best race of his, I would say, season. Maybe you could say Trentino because he won a moto, but like regardless, like that was the best race of his season. 2nd place overall. It was awesome to watch because even in Moto 1, he was flying out there and that was super sick. But Moto 2, when he was dicing up those guys to get into 3rd, that was special. I mean, I remember him passing Lata and Benistant in 1 straightaway off the wall jump, 2 for 1. That was so sick. And like literally the corner before he got, I can't remember off the top of my name, but he also passed someone right there too. And that was actually so sick. So yeah, shout out to McLellan. Amazing freaking ride. That was so awesome to watch. Also kind of a surprise. Moto 2, I would say Adamo going from dead last off the start to 8th. He should have got up a little bit higher, I will say. But he kind of got stuck and made too many mistakes because he was riding angry. And if he could have just toned it down a bit, he most likely would have got into 6th. Like, let's be honest with ourselves. Like, you know what I'm saying? But he made way too many mistakes, went off the track too many times, and had to settle for 8th. Also, I'm forgetting 5th place here. Valin, like, bro, 5-5 on the day. That was freaking awesome. He got 6th overall for going 5-5 on the day. How does that even work, bro? Yeah, awesome ride. Also, Wolvor, we'll get into best rides here. I have him for best rides with Wolvor. I think that's how you pronounce it. Amazing ride. Also, Scove, like, I have him for best ride too, but like, I'll get into that in a second. But like, some names I don't really talk about here were in the top 8. That's freaking sick to see, okay? So shout out to those boys. For my MXGP class, it has to be Fredrickson. I think that's how you pronounce it. Hakon Fredrickson? Fred? I don't know how you pronounce your last name, dude. But amazing freaking ride. I was watching Moto 1, and you were dicing up kids, dude. You made them look so slow out there, and like, it was awesome to see. He has 15, 14 points. I don't know what the hell that even is, honestly, but he went 7th overall. Amazing. That was like his first ride, and I feel like a long time this season. I don't even remember the last time he actually raced this season. Maybe he didn't even race this season. I don't know, but he looked fantastic out there. Also, Panzer Moto 2, freaking amazing ride. I think he got 6th in Moto 2. That was freaking sick. But Bono Corsi 2, I have for his biggest surprise. I didn't expect Bono Corsi to go out and get 5th overall. He had a great second moto. I think he got 4th overall and 4th in the second moto, I think. So yeah, that was really, really good ride by all the MXGP guys, I said, as well as all the MX2 guys. I think Lommel just in general brings out the best sand riders. And if like you can, and also if you can last with your endurance to the last like 5-6 minutes and other guys can't, you're just going to move up, right? Like take, for example, I would have said take, for example, like Lucas and Febvre, because they waited to the last 6 minutes and then they just dropped the hammers. But you can also say Fedrickson, like he waited to like the last like 8-10 minutes and they made some decisive passes. So if your endurance is good, you're most likely going to move up within that last 10 minutes because everybody's going to be gassed. That track was torched, bro. Like, I don't even want to ride that track as it is and just putt around because it looks like it's horrible. If it's flat, I'll ride it. Don't get me wrong. I'll try it. Not now, though. I ain't going after there. But, yeah, if you have a great endurance, you're most likely going to be doing great towards the end of the moto. And that's what I think Fedrickson did. I think a lot of other guys did as well that moved up in Moto 2. But yeah, overall, just everybody I said for my biggest prize, you guys rode amazing. All right. A couple letdowns. Now, I didn't do this last week just because we really haven't done predictions or reviews for MXGP. I am going to start doing that. I realized afterwards that I really probably should have. And I think it was maybe kind of unfair that I didn't put anybody there. And I just kind of thought like, oh, it's just our first week. Let's get our feet wet. But in reality, we should have done it because I've been doing MXGP this whole series, like reactions at least, right? So my apologies on that. But for this week, let's stay in the 450s here, the MXGP class. And I'm going to say Hurlings. And it's not because I expected him to do like super great. I just wanted him to go out there and not crash. You know, like in Moto 1, he went down. He got 8th in Moto 1, right? Moto 2, he pulled hole shot, had a 10-second gap. It was like 8 seconds at one point, and then goes over the bars, and then he crashes again, and then he crashes again. He could have had like a third in that moto, which hindsight most likely wouldn't have got him the podium. But I was let down because he crashed so many times. However, on the opposite side of that, it's great to see that he still has speed, right? Because when we go to Sweden in a couple weeks, he's going to be a player for third, maybe fourth, maybe a moto win, maybe a qualifying win, you know. And then the week after that, when we go to the Netherlands, his hometown track, I think he's going to be in the mix with Lucas and Febvre. You know what I'm saying? So right now, I'm just let down because I wanted him to do good. I kind of predicted him to get necessarily better than I think a 9th, 8th overall. What did he get? He got 8th overall going 8-8. I mean, kind of expected him to do a little bit better just because it's a Lommel. But at the end of the day, I kind of knew that he was going to struggle just because he only rode once in the last 4 weeks. So hopefully in a couple of weeks when we go to Sweden, and then after that when we go to Netherlands, he's going to be back on, I would say 90, 100%, so he can actually go battle with Lucas and Febvre. Now, I will say that if he was 100, he was dominating that moto. He was going to go out and win by 25. I'm just going to be honest. Like, if he was 100, like when he won back-to-back races this year, he wins Lommel by 25. Can we all agree to that? I think we can. So, yeah, it kind of sucks that we didn't get 100% Hurlings this year. Obviously, with the rumors going on next year, we don't know how he's going to do next year, right? Because he's possibly on a Honda. How is that going to work? All right. I really don't know. I do know that he's a big fan of Jet Lawrence. So maybe him and Jet start riding and maybe, you know, like they share some. That's not really going to make a difference, honestly. But hopefully we can see him at 100% next year and he can go out and dominate because we want to see the best rider, the best sand rider in the world go out there and put on a show, right? So hopefully next year he's 100%. For the MX2 class, now I really don't have like a crazy letdown because like Langenfelder did his job that I thought he could have done. Maybe Adamo Moto 2 because he crashed off the start, but he went all the way back up to 8th. So I think that actually is a really good ride. Now he most likely should have got 3rd, so possibly a letdown. And then another guy that I would say that I have written down here is Benestant. He DNF Moto 1, which actually gives Doc a point for his bold prediction because he is top 5 in the points and he did DNF in the Moto 1. So I got to give it to him. It's stupid, but I got to give it to him. But yeah, so I wrote down Benestant. He goes DNF, and I think he actually got, I think it was like 6 overall in Moto 2, something like that. I know he passed his teammate with like 2 minutes or 2 laps to go or something like that. But yeah, just I think maybe Benestant, Adamo, just because I thought Benestant would do a little bit better. I actually even predicted him to do, I think it was like 7th place, no? No, I predicted Perez to go 7th place. Oh, maybe that's my letdown. Let's be real. I mean, he didn't do great. He went down in Moto 1. I didn't even see him in Moto 2. I don't even know what place he got in Moto 2, but I did see that he went and got 9th overall, which you guys know that he's better than 9th. Maybe it's the sand. Maybe he just doesn't vibe with the sand. I don't know, honestly. But I do know he's a better rider than in 9th place. First year in MXGP, like back in MXGP, so I'll give him some slack there. You know what I'm saying? Next year, I hope he does better because he's definitely better than a 9th. And hopefully he goes and stays in Belgium so he can practice the sand, so he's better than 9th for next year, right? So yeah, I guess those are my letdowns. As for best rides, I mean, we talked about it a little bit. Fredriksson in the MXGP class. Vlanderen did a freaking amazing today, and I knew he was going to do good. Like, we watched him at MXGP of Finland, was it? The last sand race? And he was amazing, right? So I knew he was going to do good, but he got on the podium this week. I thought Koldenhoff was actually going to be on the podium a little bit, but he actually finished 4th. So, I mean, it's not terrible, but I thought Koldenhoff was going to be on the podium. But Vlanderen rode amazing. He's finding his groove. Honestly, he's finding his groove. And I kind of expect him to be there consistently, like 3-4, consistently going forward. Maybe 3-4-5 with Hurling's kind of be back in the mix. And I also heard a rumor that Geiser's going to be back in the mix. So maybe 3-4-5-6, like in that range. But then again, Hurling's is kind of hurt. Geiser's coming back off injuries. And Vlander's been racing. So I would expect Vlanderen to do a little bit better. But he rode amazing. I think he's actually done really good since Germany. Off the top of my head, that's what I kind of picture him last, like when he popped up for me was Germany, and he's done great ever since that. So hopefully he can continue on that. 3rd place here. I think he got a podium at Finland. We're going to Sweden. Hopefully he can put that into a podium or a top 5 because that would be sick. And then obviously Fredriksson that I already mentioned for a surprise because that was unexpected for a 7th place overall. You know what I'm saying? And then can I give Isaac Gifting a 6th place? That was pretty freaking sick, dude. Whole shot in Moto 1. Basically a whole shot in Moto 2 too. I guess in Moto 1 it was Febvre, but it was basically a whole shot. All right. Gifting Moto 2 goes down like 4th corner or something like that. Tucks his front in the outside line. That sucks. I really thought he was going to get like top 5 that moto. He was wild. I will say he's wilding out there, dude. I mean, some of the passes that he made, super aggressive, but I love it, bro. Like when he made the pass on Renault over the wall jump, that shit was fire. All right. I'm just saying, Gifting, keep it up because it's awesome watching what you're able to do every single weekend. Hopefully in Sweden, another top 5 because that would be freaking sick. Brent Van Donik, 9th place overall. Good job by him. Ben Watson, top 10. Haven't really talked about Ben Watson much because he's not ever up there. And hopefully he can figure that out because he's a really good rider on the beta. He did do a 180 off the start. Or like the corner off the start after on one lap. That's kind of sick. But he still made it work. Got 10th overall. Panzer, like I said, 6th in Moto 2, which is great. Here's some, I guess, another couple letdowns here. Renault, Fernandez, they went 12-13. Renault's better. I know he's hurt, so I'm going to cut him some slack, all right? Also saw a rumor about Renault that he might be changing teams next year, even though he's under contract. So don't know how that's going to work. Might be going to Ducati. Saw that off of Lewis Phillips' Twitter. He mentioned that someone at Ducati they're like stealing a rider, like what does that mean? I don't know. The only rider that I can think of is Renault because he mentioned that it's a winning rider and Renault has won a race this year. So, and we all know Hurling's going to Honda, Geiger's going to Yamaha, Lucas is under contract. Koldenhoff hasn't won an overall and Koldenhoff is out of a contract, so he's not stealing that. So yeah, Renault's the last guy, so that's gonna be interesting. That's kind of all I got for best rides. There's a lot of other good guys on here too that kind of just struggled a little bit. Like Bogers, he had a DNF, I believe, in Moto 2, so that kind of sucks. But yeah, for MXGP, that's it. For MX2 class, we got to give it to Walvort, bro. I mean, he was battling up there, dude, and that was freaking sick to see. What place? He got 7th overall. I'm not going to pronounce his name correctly, but Skovberger? Fuck that shit up. He got 8th overall, 276. That was freaking sick to watch. You also have, Nico Swiss. Have no idea how to pronounce that. Grutemont. I don't know how you pronounce that last name, dude, but 11th overall for that. That was sick. Cass Volk had a really good Moto 1 and then DNF Moto 2. He crashed on the start with the Damo. That really sucked because Cass Volk is a really good sand rider. So that sucks to see. And then Cass Karsmaker's 18th. I'm reading down the list here, and I don't really see anybody that I want to mention here. Lotte Van Duren, the female WMX champion. She got, oh my gosh, I just lost her name. She got 27th overall. No points, but she was up there in the mix for a little bit. I think she got like 24th in one moto, so that's pretty good. But yeah, I mean, Valin, Wolvort, Scove, amazing rides. 6, 7, 8. Those are my best rides, bro. You guys killed it out there, dude. And now let's talk about our predictions, all right? I just want to let you guys know I went 7 out of 14, okay? Had my bold prediction correct. I had both of my qualifying race winners correct. My head-to-head matchups, I had Vlonderen and Sasha. That's both correct. And then my podium, I mean, I had McLellan on the podium, but I had him for third, so I can't count it. He got second overall. I had Langenfelder. He didn't do a podium. I thought maybe he could have. I had Kai, so that's right. And then I had Lucas. I had Hurlings in second, so not the greatest idea there. But I had Koldenhoff in third. He was one spot off, so kind of right there, you know what I'm saying? But Kai and Lucas I got right, so that's 7. And then my 7th place, Isaac Gifting, he got 6, which is great, but also bad for me. And then Gillian Ferez, I had him 7th, he got 9th. So, I mean, not overall terrible. I mean, it was kind of spot on in a couple of these, you know what I'm saying? So, I'll take it. We almost had 3 different moto winners as well. I mean, think about it for a second. Lucas won the qualifying race. Febvre won the first moto. I mean, if Hurlings was just 75%, he wins that. You know what I'm saying? So that I was almost dead on there too. So, yeah, predictions. I'm pretty freaking good, dude. I just got to be honest with you guys. Now, Doc, on the other hand, all I got to say, he picked Renault to win a qualifying race. That should tell you everything. All right. He went 3 of 14. Now, he did have someone in top 5 DNF for his bold prediction, which is crazy to think about. But the only other 2 correct is Coenen and Kai. That's the only other 2 correct. Everything else was bad. Langenfelder not even close to winning the qualifying race. He had someone outside the top 10 gets on the podium for his bold prediction. I'm trying to think. Maybe Vlonderen? I would have to go back and actually look if Vlonderen was outside the top 10. I don't think he was at one point, so I'll have to double check on that one. Head-to-head matchup, he picked Sewer. Ducati wasn't even close to being anything this weekend. And Benestant, DNF, can't do that. Gifting as well in 7th place, and then he had Valin in 7th, which he got 6. So, I mean, both of those were actually pretty close. And then 2nd and 3rd, he had Koldenhoff and Hurlings for the 450s. Not close. And then 2nd and 3rd for 250s, he had mine, which was Langenfelder and McLellan, so he's kind of close on that. But overall, 3 out of 14. Not the best weekend for him. He'll be bounced back next 2 weeks from now with Sweden. But yeah, I yapped a lot. All right, my voice is going away, but I'm glad I got this done now because I didn't want to wait till Monday to do this. I'm recording this Sunday afternoon, and honestly, everything's still fresh in my mind, which is great. I love that. And I'll probably do this more often. Hopefully Doc can hop on Sundays too and we can record this real quick because, I mean, MXGP is great. Like, anybody that doesn't watch this shit, you guys need to start watching. I don't know why, like, all pro moto guys, they need to watch the reactions, watch the race, go get MXGP TV, bro, and, like, watch it. It's freaking so good. Like, some races, just like pro moto, can be boring. Like, totally. Every series can do that, right? Even F1 is boring sometimes, right? But this year has been really, really good. I'm glad that we are able to start doing this. I can't wait for next year because we're gonna do it every single week. It's a little tough of a task. We're still trying to figure out what we want to do with our predictions. Like, if we want to include it in our, like, pro moto, maybe we combine it, you know, and, like, do both series in one video. Like, whether we split it up or we just combine the predictions, whether between each or like each race or whatever, like mixing it. I don't know yet. Maybe you guys can let me know in the comment section. But dude, MXGP is great. Thank you guys so much for the love on the reaction videos. Every single one of those crazy. kind of funny that the qualifying races sometimes do better than the main races. I don't know why that happens, but it's kind of funny. I don't know. But yeah, regardless, shout out to anybody that's supporting. You guys are real ones. Thank you guys so much for all the love. Make sure you guys hit that like and sub button. We'll be back with our predictions for Ironman this week, so stay tuned. And I'm excited. I'm excited for Ironman. Excited for the last couple rounds. We got 3 rounds to go in Pro Moto, and then we got SMX, and then we also have 5 rounds to go in GPs, and then we got Motocross of Nations. And I reached out to Motocross. I reached out to MXGP. Maybe we could do a live stream, like actually live it. I'm crossing my fingers. So help me out on that, MXGP. If you guys see this, please. Someone tag them, please. But yeah. So that being said, thank you guys so much for the love. Hit that like and sub button, and we'll be back with our predictions this week. We're up. Peace.